Welcome back to another amazing episode of the Daily Dose. And today's is, I'm pretty sure, going to be the best one we've ever had.
Absolutely.
It always is. I'm Dr. K.
I'm Sam Champion.
And we're excited that you're joining us again. And today is really going to be a good one because today we're going to dig a little deeper. Instead of the clinical side of things, we're going to go a little bit into the business side of things. We're going to talk a little bit about marketing and advertising in the med spa space. And we're very lucky, we're very fortunate to have our team here today, at least part of our team, a major part of our team, is Meredith Solo and Brittany Gibbons. I pronounced it right. And they're with 424 Degrees Advertising. Yep. And they, just in case you guys want to get a little more of this amazing stuff after you watch it, you guys have an amazing podcast, right?
Yes, Country Club Girls.
Country Club Girls.
I love it.
Well, we'll have to definitely reference that one as we kind of go through today. But today's the Daily Dose. So today we get a daily dose of marketing and advertising. So let's get things started off. Maybe tell us a little bit about 424. Let's hear what you guys, what you do and your approach and all that kind of fun stuff.
Well, we're one of the oldest social media specific marketing agencies in the whole country. So we've been around for 11 years. Brittany and I were both influencers, and then we decided we think businesses need this service as well. So we saw that way ahead of time, and now we just have a great book of clients, and we're so excited. And it's really like done for you digital marketing in every aspect. But we really focus and lead with social media first because we think it's affordable, and we also find it to be the most robust form of marketing on the planet.
So social media. Do we have social media?
Oh, yeah, we do.
Yes, we do. Yes, you do.
Yes, indeed, we do. So social media is kind of a big catch-all type of term. And when you're 150 years old like me, it doesn't always make total sense. It makes a little, but I really feel like the apps that actually are significant and not significant seem to kind of change every time I dip back in. Yeah. So in the world or space of social media, what are we referring to, just so that we can all be on the same page?
Well, we always focus on the big three, which is Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok.
Okay.
That's most of our focus, with a fourth that comes in there, which we have big debates about, is this a social media platform or not, which is LinkedIn.
LinkedIn. Wow. I'm pretty sure I have an account somewhere, but I don't know if
that's right. Because it's not really a social media account, if you ask me. If you ask others in our office, it's up for debate.
Really?
Yeah, I don't think so. I feel like it's just like a...
I know, I've never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
It just feels like an old person digital resume to me, but
yeah.
I don't think I've logged into it since
active,
like 2010.
They post statuses every day, but they're not going to be as juicy as the other platforms. So
No.
All right.
I've never looked at it that way.
Yeah, I never really thought of LinkedIn in the social media arena, but I guess it does technically apply.
Yep.
Yeah. So as far as social media goes, then, so I kind of know what we do, and I know what you guys do with us, but maybe try to help us understand from your end the nuts and bolts of it, because we just we make posts and you guys make amazing things happen to those posts. But I guess give us an idea of what the general viewer and person listening kind of has to understand about, especially if they have a med spa or a smaller business in this space. What are they thinking about when they're starting to set up their social media platforms?
It's really just kind of meeting your customers where they are, and they are on social media. They spend
2.5 hours a day.
Yeah, at minimum on social media.
Wow.
Yeah. It seems low to me. I feel like I'm on it for the majority of my day.
But the national average in the United States right now is 2.5 hours a day.
It's 2.5 hours a day.
Yep.
Yeah. So really you're just catching people where they're already hanging out, which is usually on Facebook. Honestly, that's where the majority of people are. So Facebook and Instagram, all the meta platforms. And so we're just taking...
Facebook? I thought that was just for me, the 50-year-old.
It's not. Well, it turns out you guys are the ones that have the money.
So it does
Facebook still continues to take more time from users than all other platforms combined. Now, coming in fast and furious is TikTok right now.
Really?
It goes
we have a
Facebook,
lot of debates
Instagram,
about TikTok in our office.
Then TikTok. But TikTok is about to surpass Instagram, and TikTok has already surpassed with the amount of users. TikTok has already surpassed Instagram with the amount of time that we spend on the app every day.
Yeah, so we're taking all the great stuff that you guys do here and just showing it to a very hyper-focused type of client. So we're taking all of the information that you want. This is what our client looks like, and then we go out and we find them.
I love that.
Using
because
data.
from our angle, I feel like, again, I don't actually have a social media account personally, so I never know anything. I don't, but technically I think there is one with my name on it that is run by people in our practice. But, so I technically don't even have a social media
I wondered
account.
why he wasn't accepting my friend request.
There you go. So I actually don't have one. So this is great because I'm a great example of what happens when you don't, when you're not connected to social media at all. And I still manage to, I think, run a practice, but I'm very closely connected to practices that do have very strong social media presence. And I think that's why I do still end up getting a lot of what I do out to the general public. And I think that's why. But for us, I feel like social media is a great way to educate the public, right? About what we do. Because otherwise it's really hard. I think people walk, so we have an office in Bowling Green and it says dose. And in the window, there's some boxes and this and that. But I think we see so many people stop and just kind of look in and they have no idea what we do inside that building.
Right.
And so I do think that it is, I feel like for us, the main purpose isn't really to sell stuff, but it's really to make people understand what we do. Because I feel like it's the most effective way to reach people and educate them about what we do.
I think it's also a really great way to make people comfortable with this decision too. Like people who maybe aren't familiar with med spas, aren't familiar with injections, any of those things. It's a big, scary first step. They're nervous to call. They're uneasy in their skin. And so when we just basically take them in and simulate what an appointment would be, it takes a lot of the fear away. So they're really comfortable because they feel like they've already been there.
Right.
That's a great
They're
point.
comfortable within your walls. They're comfortable with they see every face. They know who they're walking up to. They've already seen them on social media.
We have had patients actually tell us that they feel like they already know us.
Right.
Like when they walk in the door.
So that's called a parasocial relationship.
Yeah.
Which is what you want
And
to
that's what we're building.
Not parasitic, but parasocial.
Parasocial.
I like that.
I love that.
Sounds like a much healthier relationship.
So that's good. And I think things like even this podcast, we consider podcasting like social media 2.0. It's next level social media. Podcasting creates a huge parasocial relationship with people because when else are you going to sit down and someone just listens to you talk for a half an hour?
Absolutely.
So they really feel like they get to know the two of you.
It's interesting you say that because in my plastic surgery practice, we have a podcast. It's called the Best Podcast Ever. And so
is this a true story?
That's true.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just for real.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. Yeah,
Subscribe.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. So with the Best Podcast Ever, we do have patients. We have patients come from a lot of places for some of the services we provide. And I can say that the most common thing I hear is that I feel like I already know you and your team. It's pretty interesting, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a really intimate relationship, right? Like me and you, like I'm asking you for intimate things like that I'm nervous about normally. So if I can take away some of that fear because I'm more comfortable with you, I'm more likely to give you money. I'm more likely to continue my relationship with you. And that's what we're just building with all of these potential clients.
Right.
That's fascinating.
We're making it really easy and comfortable for them to make the call, which is the next harder step, right?
Absolutely.
So we're every day making it easier and easier for them to change from a scroller to a watcher to a spender.
Yeah.
Which is why your social media should sell. So I know you said earlier, like, I don't know if it's necessarily to sell, but let people know who we are.
It's a lovely byproduct of having it, for sure.
Part of lead generation, right? You have to touch someone an average of 7 times before they know, like, and trust you in marketing, right?
Really?
So this is just another soft touch. Then when you are asking for the sale with a call to action type post like book now, they're comfortable doing that because they already know who you are.
Yeah, you're top of mind.
You've touched them.
I am so glad that they're on our team. This is fantastic because I didn't know any of this stuff.
Listen,
We just make these videos.
Giant nerds. And we actually talk about you guys all the time.
Yeah.
Like we just spend a lot of time like, what else can we, like we think about you guys all the time. We
But I have to admit one thing.
live weird lives.
As an older member of this team, I think I might be the one who enjoys most actually making the TikToks because I actually look forward
I'm
to it
actually
all
not
week.
surprised by this.
Yeah, it's
He really
hilarious.
does.
Yeah,
We can
it's
see it.
We
really
can
okay. Yeah, because
you look very gleeful.
gleeful.
Yeah, like you are overjoyed to be there, which is good because that is truly authentically who you are. When you walked in the room today, I know you've been driving 3 hours probably to get here today, right?
Let's see. I drove from Let's go through it. I went to Columbus. I
Right.
did surgeries all day, then drove to Bluffton, Ohio, saw a patient, and now I'm back here in good
That's
old
a long
Maumee,
day.
Ohio. Yeah, it was a day.
But when you walked in the door and saw me, you were like, "Hey guys,
Well,
what's
who
going
wouldn't,
on?"
Meredith? I mean, come on.
Your excitement is always like,
Yeah.
even on an exhausting day, you still have this presence, and I think that reflects in the videos, and it does look like you want to be there. Yeah.
Well, I just ultimately would like to kind of just be able to go up to Dr. Miami and tell him, look, dude, I'm Dr. Maumee.
I also want that for you. That's what I want.
I want you to have a Netflix show so bad. Just keep putting
But
yourself
I
out
want
there.
mine to
I really
stay
do.
on. His
Yeah.
got canceled. Oh.
Oh, well, it's all right.
still
Even if
funny.
you get two
Actually, that
seasons,
sounds like now there's an opening.
That's what I'm saying.
So.
Exactly.
Good.
Well, we'll make
After
it happen.
the
I
show,
can see.
we'll
I
have
can
It's
see
in
it
the
happening.
air. We manifested now.
I'm
Talk
pretty
about
sure
that.
it's going to happen. So I'm looking forward to this. So we've got that's fascinating though. I think it is amazing to think about what happens behind sort of this. I mean, we really don't,
It's such a it's such a fun balance, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a really fun balance of like having content that is fun and beautiful and all of those things, and turning that corner to make the ask is always scary and
Yeah.
hard. We know,
Yeah.
we know it is. It's scary and hard to get to that
It
point.
is, yeah.
But then once you make the ask and you realize that it
Pays off.
pays off, you're like, let's make more asks, maybe.
Yeah.
That's
But you have to understand
Yeah,
the
it
playground
works.
you're playing in, though,
Yeah.
too. Everything can't be buy,
Yeah,
or
it's a
we're
good
having
balance.
a sale, we're having a sale. It can't look like that because you're playing on social media.
Yeah.
I feel,
So you
I feel like
still
we're
need
the
to
opposite. I
have
don't think we ever
fun.
ask for the buy. It's
know.
kind of the.
We
We're
like to be
pushing you
playful.
towards
We're
buy.
getting you
Yeah.
there.
We're pushing
We're
you there.
shifting
We
you
talk
around.
about it.
warming up
We're getting
to
you
it.
there.
Yeah.
We're just-
Yeah.
I love the educational part.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like that is like,
Yeah.
I guess I don't talk enough on there. That's the other part. I'm not the best at like getting on the camera and educating that way, but in the room, I love to educate.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
We got to find a way
And,
to
but not
harness that.
buy.
I actually have a lot of it on video.
Oh,
do.
you're in trouble.
I
Yeah,
have
from when
do.
you were talking
You're
to
right.
her.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I can make a really nice reel with it actually because
Yeah.
you were talking about it. So
That's very true.
friendly and warm and
That was
it's
comfortable.
wonderful.
I didn't even realize you guys were videotaping. I
We
can
were.
do that.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, obviously social media is like really important. It's in the
Yeah.
hands. I mean, we have kids at home. We have several
Yeah.
ages. We get the whole range, right? We got 6 months. He's not yet on social media, I don't think. And then we've got
It's usually about a year. Yeah.
He really looks at that phone.
A
and
year
he's
they're on,
serious.
2
Seems like
years
you move a
verified. Yeah.
But he does go to the phone over
does. It's
anything
like,
else. I am pretty sure it is the stimulus, the sole stimulus for him crawling right now.
I
He is
really think it
actually-
is.
He will scooch to a phone anywhere in the room. If he sees it, he locks in on it and he gets
I want
to it.
that.
That's a problem for another day.
Yeah.
But we also have, we have 11, 13, and 16, and a 19-year-old is off at college. And I don't think she's super into social media, but my 16-year-old, definitely, he's plugged in. And I would say 13-year-old plugged in. Even at
Plugged in.
11, I feel like they're pretty plugged in.
Pretty plugged in, yeah.
Yeah. And it's just interesting how early we get started in this space. I mean, it's fascinating. So it's everywhere.
Yeah.
It is absolutely interesting that it's so present everywhere.
It's always
That is.
fun to bring in like the younger ones, like when we get an intern or something and they have like in their heads, they're like, oh yeah, going hard on TikTok, going hard on these things. And it kind of educate them. We're like, well, those people are broke.
Yeah.
The people on those apps are too young. We need a little
Facebook will
bit.
convert to more
Yeah, but
sales.
you guys-
Facebook
but I'll
convert.
tell you what.
So it's a balance. It's
Well, my
truly a
entire
balance of
exposure to
figuring it
these
out.
things is because they bring it to me and show me. They're like,
Yeah.
here, look at this. Here, look at that.
Yeah,
Here,
it's
look at
funny.
this.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like a secondary,
Yeah.
way of reaching the.
I mean, even in the OR, that's where you learn a lot of stuff, right? People
Yeah.
talk and they're like, oh,
oh yeah, that's true for sure. Yeah,
what
I
do
feel
I
like
say? And one of the girls, that's a thing.
that's
Yeah,
a thing.
that's a thing.
It's a thing.
That's a thing.
Like that's where you get your information.
Well, speaking of the operating room, everyone watching, if you're from my operating rooms, I have just formally been called Gleeful. So everyone note, please, I am Gleeful.
You
I
are.
am gleeful.
Despite the popular sort of rhetoric
true.
in the operating room, I am Gleeful.
I just feel
that.
like people are living in two worlds almost this day and age. There's
Yeah.
the real life around you, and then there's this weird internet world where we live in. And maybe there's these people that you only talk to online, right?
Yeah.
You don't ever
That's
see
odd.
them
Yeah,
in real
that's
life, right?
odd.
Yeah.
They're just like your little friends in your pocket.
Yeah.
Pull them up
Well-
and talk to them, fight with them about politics, whatever you're doing on there. And you put your friend back in your pocket. And then I think the key to success in life is to not let the pocket friends overflow into the real life and get in there. So,
But at
it's
some
just
point,
different.
though, it's
a
where you
different
follow
world we
those
live in.
things in social
Really
media. They have to intersect with reality, right?
Right.
Like, so that's when someone might be following dose or,
Right.
looking at, oh, that looks good. Oh, that looks great.
Right.
And then actually being able to pull the trigger and say, I'm going to go in and do this.
And now
I'm
you
gonna
know them in
go-
real
yeah.
life.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So as far as content goes, I mean, especially in the med spa space, I mean, there's all kinds of different content. We said educational. We kind of said, product driven maybe, or talking about specific products. But what are your thoughts on the types of content that people in this space should be focusing on and want to be, really putting their energy into?
Well, I think when we look at things that get clicked through really well, and it's going to be like before and afters, those are huge. People want to know what it is. They want to know what it's going to look like. And I think reels of actual procedures, like getting that stuff done, does really well.
Do you think that helps? Because I've
Yes.
also been told that it'll spook them away. Like it scares
I don't think
them
it spooks them
because-
away. I think the more explanatory you can be about it,
Yeah.
I think is better. So if you put up a video and you don't say what it is or you don't talk about what it is, that's scary. There's a local place that actually will put before and afters up and never say what the procedure actually is.
Yeah.
So I can never tell what it is. And also sometimes I can't tell which one's the after. So I don't.
Well, that's an important thing to bring up, the before and after thing.
I think people just want to know what it is. And
But there's different rules now. Like I think in Australia they changed, they're strict on it. But even here, there's been people that have gone back and forth on, are you allowed to say exactly what that patient had? Because they kind of
there's
goes
a little
into
bit
HIPAA.
in terms
So
of
you have to,
disclosure.
I think
very
you have to
careful.
release it. I think you have to tell the patient, can I post this on social media? I mean,
Well, yeah, that
a lot
absolutely.
of people are
but the details of it,
Right.
There has been things where they've changed the rules for us.
Didn't
in
one
that
of the
space.
Kardashians or Jenners go ahead and post exactly their surgical details for us?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that helped you.
So
No, it didn't.
I'm in a Facebook group because I want to have a tummy tuck.
Yeah.
So this is a perfect example of why it doesn't spook people. I have been terrified to get a tummy tuck because I've never had a surgery in my life. I've never even broken a bone. Once I had a tooth pulled, that's the extent of my surgery knowledge. So I have this medical anxiety that's huge and probably unfounded just because I've never been through it. So I'm in Facebook groups for tummy tucks and they show their pictures all along the way. This is right next day after my tummy tuck. This is 4 weeks after my tummy tuck. This is 2 months. And they'll do a progression of these pictures and describe exactly what's happening. And then there's other people who are like, oh, I went to Mexico and I got a tummy tuck. And then it's all infected and crazy. And they're like,
Yeah.
I wish I wouldn't have done this because I can't even sue this doctor. And now who do I talk to fix the tummy tuck? You know what I mean? In the United States. And so, I'm watching all of these things online. It's actually easing my fears about getting it done because I'm like, look at this beautiful progress this woman made.
Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
and she's writing, the tummy tuck was hard at first. The first few days were horrible, but then you get through that and you're like, okay, well, we get through it. Then we'll get through it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So it is soothing me because I don't know
Right.
what this is going to be like.
Space right now, those closed Facebook groups or
Yes.
the groups, do you guys think that is there a difference between who's posting? People who have really easy peasy, are there people who just kind of dip in, listen, go have their procedure and never say, hey, that went great?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always wondered if it's people who have problems that are more likely to be a little bit more likely to post the story. And do you think there's some sort of I don't know, bias in terms of what gets presented in those forums? Or do you think it's pretty well represented now?
I'm in a group with 110,000 people in it. It's a
Whoa,
huge group.
That's a big one.
And that's the biggest group I'm in. And I would say it's overwhelmingly people sharing positive experiences with doctors that they had because they're so concerned about people
Good.
going
Okay.
outside
I love
of the
that.
United States medical system. And the people that are complaining, they're getting real advice from these other people who had positive experiences on who to go to fix problems.
I love
because
that.
they don't want to go back to the same place, right? So I think it's a real knowledge center. But I think that people like to share in these private Facebook groups because it is a medical procedure and they are sharing. They're sharing their body,
That's crazy,
they're
yeah.
standing there with a cut across their belly and no underwear, you know what I mean? Like just like showing you, and people just aren't as apt to put that on the page where their boss could see it. You know what I mean? Or maybe they don't want to share that they had this procedure publicly. So a lot of times they post anonymously and they'll cut their heads off so you can't tell who's even posting. But I find that it's just a lot of like, you should go, they're recommending the doctor.
Right.
They're making doctor recommendations or not doctor recommendations. You know what I mean? Or don't see this guy is a lot of what it is. And then people will ask questions. I'm nervous. What's it going to feel like the first few days? And then people are in the comments showing pictures, answering the questions. So I do think there's value inside of these private Facebook groups, especially when we're talking about medical procedures, because they're not as apt to want to share that publicly.
Is there oversight about the information? So like I've been shown some strings of threads, but I don't remember who showed me, but someone was showing me something where there was a person posting a bunch of complications and it was from, some other provider and somewhere, I don't remember honestly. And so, but I do remember the complications were surprisingly what we would expect to be kind of minor and standard, like things that might occur after these types of procedures. And when managed properly, they go on to do fine, right? Yeah. But like the way it was presented, I was like looking at it, I'm like, wow, that's weird. So this person is trying to create this very huge, like
dramatic story.
Dramatic. And again, I understand a complication is tough. If you're a little wounded, it's all tough. But like from our perspective, as the person who does this and has done it thousands of times, like there are things that we see and say, this is going to be okay.
Yeah.
We'll hold hands. We'll get through it. I'll get you through it. There are things you see and say, this is a problem. We have to take action. That's what we're going to do. But in these spaces, if it's happening without any sort of perspective from like someone like us, do you feel like it sometimes gets a little out of control?
I'm always team start a Facebook group, just to be clear.
Yeah.
We love creating fish and barrels, like with Facebook groups, and being in there and becoming the authority in this area of that, whether it's like 419 surgery or whatever you want to call it, and bringing in clients that are targeted like to what you do and becoming an authoritative voice in there is always a really good idea.
Absolutely.
Because then when they finally, yes, I'm explaining to you what we're going to be doing next. So then when people make the decision to do it, you're the first person they think to do it because you've been in there and you're already saying, listen, I'm not your doctor. This isn't medical advice.
Yeah.
But I would probably ask this. Or, but that's not really realistic. Or, actually, this is actually a really good idea. We do this all the time.
That's a great point.
Just being in there, you're just really creating
an advocate for them.
a vague space for cosmetic procedures of all kinds that is just hosted by you.
And I mean, like,
and so when you invite everyone in,
were like real self. I mean, we had that for a long time. I assume it's still out there, but I remember it was kind of like when it came out, it was exactly kind of that. But now it seems so much easier to be able to kind of create that space, and if people want to enter it, they can. It's crazy.
So you're really just creating potential clients, and you're building your authority in this space, which you have a huge amount of authority, but now you're putting it in a whole new space with all new clients who are just like, we lure them in by saying,
join the Facebook group.
Has anybody considered getting lasers done? Has anybody considered a breast lift? Has anybody? And then people love talking about that.
Absolutely.
And so they come in there at the confines of this safe space now because it's a private group and it's not in the open. And they can have these conversations and share those pictures and stuff. And you're just in there. If you need me, I'm here. And I'll pop in every once in a while and be like, look at this cool thing I did. Or did you guys see this article? Or did you guys do this? Yeah. Or have you seen this thing we're doing?
Yeah.
Just saying.
In our practice, we did a long time ago. So we specialize very much in a procedure for breast reconstruction, and it's called a deep flap. And it's one of these procedures that, it goes great when it's done, in a very controlled environment by people with the correct amount of training and experience, et cetera. But, it's also a procedure that's very technically difficult, very demanding, requires a lot of resources, a lot of time and effort from the people involved, and also a lot of training and background for the people doing it. This is several years ago, probably like 12 or more years ago, when we started our private practice. We realized suddenly people they were coming in saying, oh my gosh, there's all these horrible complications. And it's hard to know who the person who did the procedure was. I mean, do they do one of these a month? Do they do one a week? I mean, I do sometimes 4 in a week. You know what I mean? We do over 250 a year, each of us. So we created a closed Facebook. I'm just remembering this now. It's been a while. We created a closed Facebook group for our practice. And we only allow either potential or current or previous patients into it. And they just basically request to get in. That's consent to be part of it. And it actually created an incredible forum for people because the information they were getting pertained to what we do. There was none of this like chatter or noise from other practices or other surgeons, like where I don't want to be accountable for some other person's, how they do it or don't do it. It's just, so it ended up working out great. It was a great forum to be able to do that, but it was very much restricted to our practice.
Sure.
So it was just us.
So we have that. Yeah.
Do it a little differently.
Yeah, we have a group like that right now. It's a medical client. You guys should join the GLP-1 Real Talk Facebook group. Shameless plug.
Let's do it.
Okay. And we're talking about weight loss shots, right? Inside of this group. And there are strict rules.
Wait a minute. That's not our buddies, the Arixa guys.
It is Arixa Health.
Shout out Arixa.
It's a shout out Arixa Health.
We love you.
So there's rules.
If you'd like to advertise on our podcast, we'd be happy to consider that.
We'll see what we can put together.
We'll put something together for you. So in this group, we have rules. Like they're very, very, very functional medicine health forward, right? So there's a lot of misinformation out there that they're correcting all the time in this group. Will I be on these shots forever? You actually don't have to. You can make lifestyle changes. You know what I mean? Like they're in here fixing the problems that people are seeing all over the internet that are just untrue. But the other thing that we have is we're not allowing people from these fly-by-night GLP-1 drug companies where you don't even know where they're sourcing these medicines from, posting like, oh, you can get a $25 shot. Like we instantly delete it, ban the person, kick them out of the group.
That raises a really important question. So you have to have
moderation.
Okay.
But that puts a whole lot of work on the shoulders of your team, right? Like you guys have to vet this stuff. You have to constantly
well, that's our job. We like that. But also we do it because we want to be able to trust that people are getting the best information. And that's what we say. We want to make sure that you're getting the healthiest, best information. We don't know anything about what you're saying, so we're going to delete it.
Anytime
that's what we do.
Happens without some sort of oversight, then it kind of just flies off.
You have to have oversight. But it's a really great way to build the authority in you. And one by one, everybody who comes in, even perhaps using a different doctor, using a different company, using a different anything, eventually finds their way to you because at the end of the day, you're the most accessible part. And one of the other cool things that happens from this group is that when we go to make content for them, we know what their most asked questions are because we see them all day.
Right.
I make videos based on the most popular questions that happen inside that Facebook group every single day. How long do I have to be on this? Will I lose my hair? Do I qualify? Who do I contact? All these things every single day are the same questions that get asked over and over. So I know exactly what to target because I talk to their customers for free all day long.
That's a good point.
And another great thing is we have a local Facebook group that we run, and it has almost 8,000 members in it at this point in time, just local women. So you don't even, there's a lot of ways you can look at Facebook groups, and there's moderators that moderate that group even. So we're not letting people just trash our group locally either. We keep it pretty moderated. But you can look at Facebook groups in a different way. Is it just topical? Is it a local Facebook group? Is it a women's group? Like, what exactly is your goal? Who's the client that you're looking for? So anyone listening to this podcast right now, even if you don't work in the medical spa field, right? Like, I think Facebook groups are gold. And it's honestly why Country Club Girls is one of the biggest podcasts out there, and why we have Family Road Trip Trivia podcast is one of the biggest podcasts out there, is because we own these Facebook groups. And we just created these super fans inside of there because we're just interacting with people in there all the time.
Yeah, I know.
Well, it's good to learn what's happening behind the curtains.
It is.
It
creates trust.
Really a lot of stuff happening. We make these beautiful little posts and they turn them into amazing things. That's great.
I know.
So, and on Facebook, you may not know the answers, but like what % of the activity that a person is like, the time they're spending on Facebook are people spending in these closed groups versus sort of the general like Facebook pages where you're scrolling through who you follow and stuff?
I think a lot of people stay on Facebook because of the groups that they're in.
Okay. So it's more for the groups.
Yes.
It's for the groups. A lot of times that's the only reason they're logging on.
Fighting about politics and stuff like that on the news feeds, right? And it's so negative. And in fact, things that get angry reactions, so the mad reaction, get shown 40% more. So forward facing. Everyone's just fighting with each other on that platform. But behind these doors of these Facebook groups, it's like a land of love, right? And it's like these little communities have popped up.
Okay.
And you go there and that's where your friends hang out inside of these Facebook groups.
Fascinating. I did not even realize that at all.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I didn't at all. This
That's
is like
awesome.
this is pretty enlightening. Well, I think we've taken a good dip into our
People
little
usually
social
think
media.
we're dorks. I really like this. This is like the best podcast I've ever been on.
We're kind of nerdy, so it's kind of fun. This has been fantastic. I mean, I think it'd be best if we kind of revisit and kind of circle back and do this every, now and then. Maybe we kind of have we'll call this part one. And then maybe we'll return with, maybe we'll get some feedback and some questions to all the people who are watching and end up in our closed Facebook group. Do we have one yet?
We're going to.
But before we kind of go, do you guys have any other sort of comments you want to leave our listeners with about how, you guys obviously really know your marketing space, and maybe if they're in the med spa as a client, or maybe even as a med spa owner or someone who's working at a med spa, what do you want to leave us with? Anything good?
I think that people spend 86% of their time right now on social media watching video. So no matter what you're doing, make these vertical videos where it's your phone, the length of your phone, right?
Vertical.
Not horizontal, not the way the TV sits, but vertical.
Okay.
Because people will watch that video 3-4 times before they swipe up. And that's what we're spending the most amount of time doing. So you need to have a very strong video game.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow.
I agree.
Right now, that's
Very
the
strong
current
video.
situation. Strong video game.
Strong video, call to action,
All right.
Yes.
Videos
100%.
it is. An upright phone. I like it.
Yes.
an upright phone.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you guys for taking the time today.
Yeah, thank
you
you
for being such an amazing team and working with us. We really are enjoying this. It's been fantastic getting things going, and really excited to see where we end up. And I feel like I'm going to learn infinitely more about the social media space as we. Who knows? Maybe one day I'll even. No, I won't. Just kidding.
Maybe you'll be TikTok famous.
I'm going to be TikTok famous.
Let's talk about TikTok next time.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll do a whole
let's do
TikTok
that.
episode.
We'll do a TikTok episode.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll reintroduce Dr. Mommy. I like it.
I love it.
Thanks
TM.
everyone for chiming in. We'll be back soon with another amazing episode, but it might not be quite as good as this one. We'll try.
Let's try.
Bye.
The content of this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. Although we are licensed medical professionals, nothing discussed in this episode should be taken as medical or legal advice. Always consult with a qualified provider regarding your own health or treatment. We do not accept any liability for decisions made based on the information shared here.